Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about one of my absolute favorite fragrances from the house of Amouage. This one is called Rose Incense. Not sure if the camera is focusing. There you go. Rose Incense. This was released in 2019 and it was created by the perfumer Bruno Jovanovic. I'm actually a big fan of Bruno's work. He's also created Monsieur for Frederic Malle, which is this like incredibly deep, oily, almost garage-like patchouli, which I love. And he was also the perfumer behind Knowing Legacy for Estee Lauder, that gorgeous remake of the Chypre floral that I think deserves a lot more attention. But today it's all about Rose Incense. And before we even get to the scent, can we just like appreciate the bottle for a second? Now, if you look closely, there are like these tiny flecks or specks of glitter throughout the glass bottle. It's like a subtle detail, but it makes the deep red color like shimmer beautifully and gives it such a luxurious feel as well. It's so beautiful. Now, I have to admit my relationship with Amouage is a bit complicated. For me personally, there are actually more misses than hits. That's not because I think they're poorly made. It's quite the opposite. Their quality is almost always exceptional. I can really smell the quality ingredients. It's just simply that a lot of their fragrances don't align with my taste. They're often more challenging and sometimes just not something I would choose to wear myself. And that's perfectly okay. I always say you don't have to love everything a brand releases or creates. No fragrance house is going to be like 100% for everyone. And that's actually what makes this perfume hobby so lovely. There's something out there for every nose. Well, that said, when Amouage gets it right for me, they really get it right. And Rose Incense is one of those fragrances. So this fragrance was actually my first real love from Amouage, not just because it's a rose-centric fragrance that's admittedly an easy way to get my attention, but there are plenty of rose fragrances out there that I don't enjoy. This one just does something slightly different and memorable. I remember when this first came out, so many fragrance YouTubers were like talking about it. There was so much buzz around it, and honestly, the hype was completely justified. But over the years, it seems to have quietly faded into the background. People aren't really talking about this anymore. They don't bring it up when they talk about rose fragrances, and I think it's a shame. I want to kind of revisit it for those who've forgotten this gem, or for anyone who's never even had a chance to smell it yet. So I believe it's also available in Amouage's newer bottle designs, so you can check it out. And from what I understand, the fragrance itself remains the same. Now let's talk about the scent. As the name suggests, this is essentially a rose and incense fragrance, but it's far more interesting than that simple description. The rose here is like incredibly dry. It's not jammy, it's not syrupy, it's not sticky, it's not sweet. To me, it smells like a dark crimson rose that's been gently dried. It's slightly dusty, a touch tartness. I don't know how they were able to kind of pull that tartness off, giving it that recognizable rose structure, but yet it feels dusty in a way, or powdery. And it also has this kind of subtle woody depth to it. This isn't a blush pink or soft or dewy, fresh cut rose from the garden. This one has character. It feels dark, it feels moody and very sexy. And then there's the incense part. Interestingly, I don't find it particularly smoky. I find it to smell more like an unlit incense stick, if you get what I mean. It's more powdery, it's more balmy. I get more of that balmy olibanum than smoke. And together with the rose, they create something incredibly smooth. I also suspect there's a touch of oud in the background, not the kind of loud, funky kind, but just enough to add weight, to reinforce the woods, add structure, and probably contribute to the incredible longevity of this perfume. There's also something church like about it. It reminds me of walking into an old stone church where kind of bouquets of deep red roses have been sitting there for like days or weeks alongside burning frankincense. But don't mistake that for something like old fashioned or overtly religious. It's more about the atmosphere than the smell itself. It takes that imagery and translates into something more like modern and very wearable. I've actually received quite a few compliments wearing this, and people are always surprised when I tell them it's from Amouage. I think this is one of their more like approachable fragrances. It still has that unmistakable Amouage richness and quality, but it's far easier to wear, I would say, than many of the house's more experimental creations. If you're looking for something a little more mass appealing, this one is definitely one of the Amouage fragrances I would recommend. Performance is fantastic here. On my skin, I get a solid 8 hours, and on clothing, it lasts even for days. Projection is excellent too. This is not close to the skin or intimate. If you spray this generously, people around you are definitely gonna notice it. It has this beautiful scent bubble without feeling suffocating or overwhelming. And that's my, take on Rose Incense by Amouage. I'd love to know, what do you think about this fragrance? Have you tried it? Are you a fan of it? What's your favorite fragrance from Amouage? And thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!